Hey everyone, it's David in Korea, finishing up week 12, and this past Sunday, a week ago from me making this video, got a public service safety announcement, and basically that translates into hazardous air quality. And so whenever I went outside that evening, you could definitely tell that the air was heavy with pollutants, but I was on my way to go bowling, so I went ahead and went. Just they advise you not to spend a whole lot of time outside, to look for indoor activities. So that's what I ended up doing on Sunday night, and most Sunday nights that's what I do, is go bowling and get a hamburger. And as I was walking out of the bowling alley, the lights that I've been taking pictures of the past couple of weeks were on. I guess they were testing them out, and it's a little central downtown area that we have, and there is a Christmas tree lighting coming up on the 1st, and that's what they're getting ready for, and they were testing out all the lights, but it looks pretty neat. They use quite a bit of lights to cover up the entirety of the courtyard, so pretty cool. And to round out my Sunday night, I went and practiced with the band that I play in with a couple of guys. So later in the week, it cleared up just a little bit, but not really much. It was still pretty cruddy air quality. Usually if you can see the mountains off in the distance, that means the air is a little bit clearer, but it's pretty well the entirety of the week it was just barely visible. You could hardly see even the close city, let alone the mountains. Ended up going to an African restaurant and getting some good food there, and then later in the week decided that some of the guys that I play in the band with, we wanted to buy a bass guitar for one of the players, and so they knew of a town a couple of train stops away that had a nice music store, so we went to go explore that. And on the way there, it was cold, but it was nice to get out and go see a couple of things. We ended up having to take the train, but we had to take a taxi to the train stop, so this is us riding in the taxi. Once we got to the train station, train stations are really big, really nice over here, and the public transit system is top-notch, so we ended up taking the train to get to where we needed to go to. Like I said, it was only about 2 stops away, about maybe 30 minutes worth of train riding, if even that much. But I never take the trains or go anywhere by myself because I still don't know how to navigate all that, so I always end up going with a couple of other people or tag along when other people are going places. So when we left, it was still daylight. It was in the evening time, but still daylight. And like I said, we were able to ride the train for a couple of stops and ended up getting where we needed to go to. So I took some video of the surrounding landscape. And this day was a little bit clearer, so you could see a little bit further off into the distance and see some of the hills and the mountains off in the distance too. The town we ended up going to is called Chonan, I think. Maybe I had that wrong, probably had it wrong. But it's about a quarter of the way between here and Seoul, and it's not too Americanized. The closer you get to bigger cities, the more Americanized they get, and they usually have English signs around to kind of help you navigate. This city was not so. It was purely Korean, and it was kind of nice to get away from the heavily Americanized stuff and kind of get immersed in that culture a little bit. So we did some walking and found the music store we were looking for, and it was kind of nice to see some American brands in there. They had a whole lot of Taylor guitars, which I really like Taylor guitars. My lovely wife bought me one many years ago for Father's Day. But they had a 2-story music store with everything you could possibly think of in it, and the guy there was super nice, and he had a bunch of really cool guitars, and he also had this Gretsch White Falcon, which is there on the wall there, which is kind of a coveted guitar. I asked him how much it was, and he said not for sale. After getting a tour of the music store, we went and decided to eat somewhere, so we went to this restaurant. No idea what it was called because I can't pronounce the name, but it's kind of like a Korean barbecue place. After eating the last Korean barbecue place, that's whenever I got sick. It took me a while to kind of get back into it again, but this place is a little bit different. As you can see here, they give you these meat skewers and you put them on this little grill. The grill's got a mechanism which auto rolls it for you, so it was pretty cool. We ended up getting this big bowl of kind of, I guess, I don't know what you call it, but kind of a seafood dish, and that ended up being really, really good too. After that, we moved along, and there was a place where the guys that I was with had gone before. It was just a music venue, and you can go in there and they have guitars and amplifiers and things set up, and you're just free to play as much as you want. And so they decided we all needed to go there, so we started venturing through the town, and there's so much there that it's kind of hard to navigate, but these guys remember exactly where it was, thank goodness, because I would have no idea where I was going. But we ended up finding the venue, and we played a couple of songs there and had a really good time. And then after that, decided we wanted to head off. But before we took off, we noticed there was a McDonald's, and they said it tastes just like American McDonald's. So, of course, we jumped on the opportunity to go get some taste of home. So I ended up getting a Big Mac and some fries, and sure enough, tasted just like home. So we decided we were going to wait to eat it until we got on the train. It was getting kind of late and it was pretty cold, so we decided we needed to hoof it down back to the train station so we could get on the train and head back home. We finally got back to the train station, and I couldn't wait any longer. I had to eat my Big Mac, so I ended up unwrapping it, and it looked just like an Americanized Big Mac, and like I said, tasted just like one too. So it was really nice to have a taste of that. The trains kind of run slow and far in between, so we ended up getting something out of the vending machine they had, a hot one and a cold one, and so we ended up trying to get some stuff. It actually didn't work, but it would have been nice if we did. Got back to the train station closest to home, and everything was lit up and looking neat on a Saturday night. And we had a pretty good time doing that. It was a big adventure for me. I hadn't been out in quite a while, so it was nice to get out and see the sights again and go have some authentic Korean food again and some Americanized food as well. I always have a great time whenever I'm out with everybody else, but it's always a little bit sad because this doesn't compare to home. I always feel an air of sadness whenever I go out and have a good time because I know I'm not doing it with the people I love, but I still have a good time. I started off my Sunday with 0 degrees Celsius, which is right at freezing, and I think the rest of the week's probably going to be just like this too. And you can definitely see in the air it looks cold because it is cold. So Sundays mostly I stay indoors. I worked on my puzzle for quite a while. I'm almost done with this one. I try to get one done at least by the end of the month, every month. And then I decided I'd go ahead, since Thanksgiving's over, time to start decorating for Christmas. So my dad sent me this box with a bunch of Christmas decorations in it and a miniaturized Christmas tree, so that way I can decorate it and put it in my my dwelling. And he sent everything that'll go on the tree too, a star and some lights, and he also sent a couple of bells to go on it, different assortments of bells. And then I'm going to use this box as my storage for all the other holiday decorating that I do. So it's time to put up my tom turkey, and in that place, once the tree's decorated, I'm going to put the tree there. So the tree was pretty easy to put together. Dad said he had to rip the stand off the bottom of it just so it fit inside of the box, but it went back on pretty easy. So I ended up fluffing it out and trying to make it look nice and presentable for all the decorations. And, all this stuff was on a cord, so it made it easy to decorate this little tree. And Dad sent an overabundance of decorations, which is always good. Of course, one of the cords got tangled. It wouldn't be Christmas unless you had to untangle some lights or something. So I got that untangled, wrapped that around the tree, and got it looking pretty good. And then I also had a couple of individual bells to put on there. All of them had the little tassel separately, so you had to tie the tassel. And after a while, I just gave up and started stabbing branches through the hole where the tassel's supposed to go. And it seemed to work out pretty good. Nobody will know the difference. Finally strung up a little battery-powered electric lights, which I need to find some batteries for those. But after that, I put the star on the top. The star was covered in glitter, so now everything that I have is covered in glitter. But it ended up looking pretty good, so I put it right where the turkey was, and now anybody that walks down this hall can see my festiveness. I also hung the stocking right on the door, and I think that's probably where I'll end up leaving it. So I like to have my door decorated. Nobody else seems to, but me, I just like to make it look as homely as possible. So I got it looking kind of the way I wanted it. The hardest day out here is Sunday. That's usually the day that I really start to miss everybody and really miss home. So I always try to look at pictures of my loved ones and try to imagine how they're doing and hope that they're having a good time. and I hope everybody else is too. Week 12's down, a quarter of the way done, and can't wait to get home.